good evening. Good evening. Welcome. What are we talking about today? Okay. So today we're just doing question and answer. You can talk about anything. Hi. Let me clean it. So today there's no exact topical. You just ask your questions and I'll answer as much as I can. Haniwa Ventures, hi, good evening. But let's just wait for more people to come on board and then we can start. But you can start dropping your questions, and once there are a little more people, I'll start answering them. Hi. Hello, Joy. Joy, I think you just sent me a DM, but I can't. I'll attend to it after the class. Yeah, good evening, hey B Cube. Hi. Where is everybody? Sorry, I can start. I think I'm having a headache. Not that I think I do. Okay, so my name is Green and Healthy. Hi. So my name is Oduayo. Hello. My name is Oduayo, and I am the face behind at Optimum Foodie. I am a... You're here to disturb me, no? I'm a pharmacist, a nutritionist, and I'm the author of this book titled What Should I Be Eating? Basically, I help people fall in love with food, but the healthy way. So my goal is to help people build loving and healthy relationships with food. The reason why a lot of us have issues with food and when it comes to us, our fitness goals and our health goals, is because of the way we see food and basically our relationship with it, or the way we grew up, eating food, the way we grew up cooking food. It's just the way we grew up knowing food, so to speak. And I'm just trying to change that to, yay, really, from us or you bought from a store. So the whole point is just to help you understand how you should be consuming food. Of course, in an enjoyable way. We're still trying to keep things interesting, but at the same time, we want to still achieve our goals. We still want to get that slaying, banging body. If you're trying to lose belly fat, you're trying to lose whatever it is, right? So when it comes to food in general, I always say that I think our problem started from when we were young. When you were young, if you're talking about, you say you want to eat, you say, what do you want to eat? You say, I want to eat rice, right? I want to eat rice and egg. I want to eat rice and meat or rice and something, sha. It was normal for you not to have vegetables. Like if you had a plate of rice in front of you and there was no vegetable there, nobody really asked you any question. But if there was no meat there, there was no meat, no fish, no chicken, people will ask, questions like, are you not eating anything with this food? So in a way, we kind of grew up with vegetables not really being a compulsory part of our diet, which is unfortunate because it is. So those are one of the things that you definitely have to change if you're trying to live the healthy way. And of course, if you're trying to lose weight, whatever it is you're trying to achieve with your body, right? Because me personally, right now, I'm trying to gain weight. So we all have our different goals. Okay, so our first question is in. Today is a question and answer thing. So whatever, I'll still also talk randomly about some stuff, but the cocoa is if you have questions, just ask and I'll try and answer to the best of my ability. I'll try to answer as much as I can. So somebody said, please shed light on detox. So detox is short for what? For detoxification. And what does toxins? Toxins are basically chemicals and impurities that are basically bad for your body. And so the idea of detox, or the word detox, now I just talk about dictionary meaning, next I start talking about what it means like in the fitness world, right? So it means that you're trying to remove. So detoxing means just you're trying to remove these toxins from your body. Now, yes, there are harmful things that we eat and stuff, but the truth is that there are certain organs in your body that actually work to remove these toxins. So you have things like your liver, your kidneys, the way they have been built is their work to excrete any waste, to excrete anything, excrete the harmful things. It's just even like something that's, if let's even start from something as simple as alcohol, right? Something as simple as alcohol, your liver processes it to excrete it. Most of it gets away. Even the drugs that we take, they're processed by your liver and your kidney. They're excreted usually via either of those means. That's one of the major functions of your livers and your kidney, right? Which is why when you bombard them with too much of bad stuff, like people that drink too much alcohol, you have a problem. If you're taking a particular drug, if you overdose on it, you already hurt those organs, and so on and so forth, right? Now, on the dietary aspect, I personally don't believe that when you eating certain foods will detox you, because the truth is the detoxing in itself is actually done by those organs I talked about. But what is called detoxing in the nutrition and the fitness world, I call it colon cleansing. That means that I am just going to, basically, I'm trying to just clean up my colon. That means, I don't know, probably I've been eating lots of junk, for a while, and now I just want to let go of stuff that I might, like your intestines and stuff, and also debloat. Many times, many of us do have belly fat, but the truth is, one of the reasons why your belly is also looking big is because you have a lot of gas in there. That's the truth. You have a lot of gas. Some of us are just not moving our bowels as much as we should be. So many detox plans, you see that it has a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, because these things are very, very high in fiber. And so many times you see detox plans, you see 3-day plan, 2-day, whatever, usually for a short period. So usually the goal is do a lot of fiber, and you're eating things that are like kind of easy to process, such that in a way, think of it like you're flushing your colon, like you're flushing your intestines. That's how I like to think about it. And that's why usually also in those 3 days, you tend to, when you climb the scale, you see a significant difference in your weight. So for example, in that 3-day period, you can lose 1 to 2 kg. Some people lose up to 3 kg. Firstly, you're going to drop a lot of water weight. Now, by water weight, I mean, now imagine yourself, you're doing just like fruits and vegetables and things. You are barely eating any salt because of the kind of things that you're eating. I mean, normally you put salt in when you cook, but because you're not really doing much of the normal things that you eat, you're barely taking any kind of salt, your body will lose water. Now, it's not a bad thing. When your diet is very high in salt, high in sodium, now sodium doesn't come from only salt, so I'm going to use the word sodium. There's also sodium in the seasonings, your Maggi and stuff, some of the other seasonings, chicken seasoning, fish seasoning that they sell. It comes in various forms. But anyways, when you reduce the amount of salt that you take, your body loses some of the water it holds in. When your salt levels are high, your body holds water to kind of dilute it because the salt is too much. So when you improve on your diet and you reduce the salt, your body is able to now let go of that water, and that's why when you climb the scale, you would actually see a reduction. So many times, especially when people are just beginning to lose weight, sometimes you realize that you're able to, in the beginning, you just notice maybe you lost a bunch of weight in the beginning, but then you're not losing a bunch anymore. Sometimes because that time when you lost, it wasn't just fat that you lost. Okay, you probably also you lost water weight. You might also have even lost some tissue weight. So it's a combination of different things. And usually most of the water weight, you lose it in the beginning period. So that's when we notice that the scale might be dropping much faster in the beginning than later on. So for me, the word, I personally don't use the word detoxing. Max, I'll call it colon cleanse. But it's also a way to like jumpstart your weight loss, because you're eating all these things that are kind of low calorie. So just maybe fruits, vegetables, and then just protein. You end up with a very a significantly low amount of calories per day, and obviously that would help in you burning fat. Okay, So for people, maybe you want to start a weight loss journey, you have a lot of weight to lose. I think I've done a class on similar to this where I talked about how to jumpstart your weight loss journey, and one of it is detoxing. Just following, like for example, now some people just do like juicing. The idea is just that in the end, your calories are going to be very low. Number one, number two, you're barely if you're doing just juicing, for example, you're going to be taking lots of liquids. Instead of juicing, I personally prefer to actually do smoothies so that you can also get the fiber, because with the smoothie you're blending heavier and blending the entire fruit, but with the juicing you're doing just the juice, you're not getting the fiber, and I really love to include the fiber, so I do prefer smoothies. Plus they are more filling because of the fiber as well. All right, so if that's all you're doing, literally your body is barely needing to digest a lot, so whatever is even in there in your colon is just gets flushed out. You go to the toilet a little more frequently maybe, but you just feel lighter just those 3 days. So sometimes when people do detoxing and they're like, oh my god, I just feel so much better, I feel sometimes people relate it to them flushing toxins out of their body, but it's not really toxins you're flushing out. It's just that you have literally just cleared up your digestive system, and you will immediately feel lighter, and that lighter feeling just makes you feel good all round. Literally, there's nothing like just feeling light, especially in your abdominal area. It's a very, very, very awesome feeling, trust me. And of course, you lose a bunch of weight as well, and you just feel very good. Okay, another reason why people feel very good also is because you're just now enriching your body with all these vitamins, especially if you're coming from a not so good diet, and now you're just doing all this plenty vitamins, plenty fruits, plenty, you will definitely feel good. Okay, but it's not because your body has removed toxins. Your body has always been doing that via your liver and your kidney. Okay, so that's it for me. I have many. Okay, so that's the first question. Please, how can one calculate calories in food? Now, it's not like you can. It's not like I personally calculate. So, for example, now if you ask me how many calories are in a cup of rice, right? I know it's 205, but it's not that I calculated it. Okay, it's some other people have done the work, some in design lab, but me, I went to school and then they taught us, and that is how I know it. So for example, if I want to calculate, so I know many of us know that I'm obsessed with counting my calories. I always calculate my calories in my meals. So how I get the total value is, so I take beans. My beans is 1 cup. 1 cup of beans is 250. I cooked them. Okay, so I think I'm going to share my lunch. And I had right there. I'm going to share my today's lunch tomorrow. So I had beans and plantain. So how I know how many calories in it is, I know that I measured. So this is you need to measure, okay? So I know that I put 1 cup of cooked beans here, right? And that's 250. I made a kind of sauce that I ate with the beans. Now in the sauce, the oil I put 5 mils of oil per serving, right? So I know that, okay, 5 mils of oil is 45 calories. Then, I put some vegetables. I'm going to estimate that as about 25. Then I had plantain. I weighed my plantain. I had how many grams of plantain did I do? I can't remember. I had like 170 grams or 175 grams, something like that, of plantain, 150 grams of plantain. I know how many calories that is. And then I add everything together, and then that's how I get the total. And that's how I know how many calories are in the entire thing. Or let me even use the simple one. Yesterday I did rice. I had rice and a 1 cup of rice is 205. My chicken drumstick, one chicken drumstick, even with the skin on, is 100 calories. So that's already 305. My F4 had 5 mils of oil in it. That's 45. That is that's 350, right? There plus all my plenty ugu and the onions and pepper and everything, and I think I just estimated that to about 40 calories. And that's how I came up with a total of approximately 400 calories for that meal. Okay? But of course, firstly, before you can really start calculating calories, you need to first determine how many calories you want to be eating per day. Okay? That's what will not determine how many be eating per meal. So how many you're eating per day is dependent on your goal. It's dependent on how much you weigh right now, dependent on your height, dependent on how much physical activity you're doing. There's a formula for this, and while I really want to answer questions today, I cannot handle that topic today because it takes time. It's harder to do it via this class because I can't be speaking formulas. So you can either get my book or you can buy the masterclass on how to count calories if you're very interested in how to count calories. So with the masterclass, I teach you how to calculate how many calories you need to lose weight, and then there's a breakdown of calories in Nigerian meals, and then how to create your meals, and so on and so forth. Okay? But it's not something that I can answer in 5-10 minutes that you really, really understand. Someone says to lose 1 to 2 kg per week, what should be the calorie deficit? Now, again, this is okay. So if you do a deficit of 0.5, right? If you do a deficit of 0.5 per week, sorry, what am I saying? 0.5. If you do a deficit of 500 per week, you will lose 0.5 kg at the end of the week. I said per week, per day. So if let's say you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories per day, but then if you start eating 1,500, right? If you start eating 1,500, you will lose 0.5 kg at the end of the week. But now this 0.5 kg is 0.5 kg of fat. Okay, so many times the number will be more because you're probably also losing water, you're probably also losing some tissue. So it's a theoretical number, but on a mean, so you can take it as like worst case scenario. So to lose about 1 kg of fat per week, that means you want to create a deficit of 1,000 calories per day. Okay, now when you calculate, I said I really wish I could go into the formula, but it's long. It's not long, but it's not easy to communicate it in this format that we're doing it right now. But when you calculate it and you put into consideration your level of physical activity as well, so it depends. What kind of work do you do? Do you work out once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? That workout, how long is it? How intense is it? Those are some of the things that will determine how many calories you need per day for you to stay the same. And then you will now remove from this number. So let me use myself as a personal example. Now, I personally need about 1,200 calories for me. That means if I didn't do any work at all, that means if I just lay down on the bed all day long and I don't do any other thing, I need 1,200 calories. But of course, I do stuff. Okay, I do other things, and then I also exercise. And to make up for that exercise and the other things that I do, I multiply by a factor. And in the end, at the end of that calculation, I need about 1,600 calories for me to stay the same as my present level of physical activity. Now, if I decide that I want to lose weight, right, I don't have a lot of weight to, but right now I'm actually trying to gain weight. But if I decide I wanted to lose weight, I would have to eat less than that 1.6, and probably, let's say if I remove 500, that means I'll be eating 1,100, and maybe I'll be able to lose 0.5 kg at the end of the week. Because me personally, I don't have a lot to lose. Generally, people that have a lot more weight to lose are able to lose faster. So if you're really big and you follow, so if me and somebody else who's really big follow the same diet, that means you follow the same we are eating the same number of calories, that person will definitely lose a lot more than me because that person's deficits will be much larger. Because generally, people, if you're bigger, you need more calories for you to stay that size. So if you now come down all the way to my level, you're going to have very large deficits, which means that you lose more weight. The larger the difference between what you need and what you're eating, the faster you lose weight. So also, in a way, you have the power to also control how fast you lose weight. So somebody, maybe after recalculation, we see that, okay, well, you need 25 calories if you are going to stay at, let's say, person is size 14. If you're going to stay, let's say person is 90 kg. Therefore, you to stay at this 90 kg, you need to eat 25 calories per day. Now this person can decide that, you know what, I'm not in a hurry, okay, to lose this weight. I won't take my time. And the person can decide to start eating 2,000 calories. The person will start losing weight. But and then the person can decide, this weight needs to go down. Needs to go down now. And the person can decide to start eating 1,500. Now, if the person was eating just about 2,000, maybe the person will be losing between 0.5 to maybe 1 kg per week. But if the person takes it down even lower to 1,500, the person will definitely lose significantly more weight. If the person even vex finish and takes it down to even 1,200, the person will even lose more weight. Okay, so in that way also you can decide how quickly you want the weight to drop. Okay, why somebody lose weight so fast and yet others might lose 5 kg in a month, and they both did it the healthy way? I think part of the things I just talked about is part of it. If somebody is bigger or has a lot more fat to lose, usually they lose faster. But then there's also genetics. Okay, we're just so different. I mean, I've helped so many people lose weight, and so from like experience and seeing different people's progress and things like that, it just varies. You know, you have people that put in 100% and they just lose what they lose. There are people that really did well, and literally in the end of the month that all they lost is 4 kg, right? And then you just have people that find they're doing well, they're okay, and then I see them losing 7-8 kg in a month. So you cannot overlook the genetics factor. You cannot overlook we're just very different. Very different people, and the way our body processes things, and the way our body. But then one thing you have to put in cognizance also is what I talked about with the weight. So if you're like 70 kg, you're trying to lose weight, and then there's somebody else who is like, I don't know, 105 kg. It's very likely that that person, if the person is doing the right thing, that person most likely lose weight faster than you. Okay, especially if you're following the same calorie diet. So maybe that person has gone low, down all the way to 1,200, but you at 70 kg, you're also doing 1,200. That person will lose faster than you. You cannot even win in that one. Okay, so that might be another reason why. But yeah, the genetics factor is very, very dear. How can I enjoy alcoholic beverages and still lose weight? You need to include them in your calorie count. That means you need to, depending, you have my book already, so, and I know you've at least started losing some weight. Depending, after you've done your calculation, I don't know what your target is, but whatever your target is, you have to make room for that thing you want to drink. Okay, so it's not the same way me saying that I want to start including Coke in my diet, even if I will not do that because it's a lot of sugar. It's not necessarily healthy. But so for example, if my goal per day is 1,200 calories, and the drink I want to have is 140 calories, that means that let's say 150 calories, that means that all the food that I want to eat for that day must be 1,050 calories, so that by the time I now add my drink, 150, total will now be 1,200. So that's just it. But of course, you also want to make sure that you do it just frequently, because I mean, it's not like alcohol is the healthiest of things. But I mean, if you want to do it once in a while, it's fine. You just need to make sure that you know how many calories you're consuming. So you're kind of measuring. I don't know what kind of alcoholic beverage it is, whether it's a wine. So I know in the book, so just check in the book, there's a chapter on alcohol and calories in alcohol. So if it's your regular wine, you want to check if you're having a glass. I know the calories in a glass are there. So just have that at the back of your mind, and so you have to count it for that day. How to lose weight and your belly? Wow, this is a very it's a very, very broad question. Excuse me. But basically, the way that you lose weight is by eating lesser calories than you need. That is the long and short of it. But so how do you eat lesser calories than you need? There's calorie counting aspect of it, which is very long, and let me not talk about that aspect. Let me use the plate method for you. Okay, plate method just means that you are if you take your plate, you divide it into four. Ensure that your carbs are never more than a quarter of the plate. That's a good way to portion it. Your protein, take about another quarter, and then the remaining half are full of vegetables. So the idea is that you're filling on vegetables as much as possible, and you're moderating your carbs, and run away from oil. Oil in Nigerian meals, oil is one of the biggest issues that you have. Trust me. Your stews, your effort, just so many things that we cook, because just 5 meals of oil, 5 meals of oil is very small. Just 5 meals of oil has 45 calories. Okay, many of us fry our eggs with more than 5 meals of oil. Okay, the oil in your food can take your calories in your meal up very fast, even though your food might not be plenty, if you get what I mean. The quantity of the food might not really be a lot, but because of the oil you use to cook it, the calories might be so much, such that I might be eating more food, but because I didn't fry anything, the oil that is there is little, I have lots of vegetables, I moderated my carbs, and my food might be more filling than your own food that is smaller than mine. Okay, and then me, that I seem to be eating more food. That's when it comes to quantity, I'm losing weight. But you, that you're eating small, you're not losing weight, because at the calorie end of things, you're still eating too many calories. And the most common reason people are eating too many calories, guys, number one, you're cooking with too much oil. Number two, you're eating too much carbs. If you follow me, you have an idea of the size of carbohydrates you should be having. Okay. Number three, you're snacking on some things that are high calorie, but you don't know. Maybe you think it's not, they are healthy, but healthy is very relative to quantity. There are some things that are healthy in small quantities. Okay, so when they say something is healthy, it doesn't mean you need to now find out if that thing high in calories. If it's high in calories, then you want to do small. That means that you only need a little of it. There are foods, generally there are foods you can eat plenty of, and there are foods that you should eat little of. And those things you should eat little of, it's not as if they are bad, but you just need little of it. It's just like your salt when you're cooking. You need the salt in your food for it to taste good, but it doesn't mean that you now go and pour the whole bag inside. You just need use the small there, and that's all. That's good enough. So there are some foods like that, and one of the most common example are nuts in general. So your groundnuts, walnuts, coconut, they are healthy, yes. The fats in them are healthy fat, but it is still fat, and you just need that healthy fat in a small amount. So if you're the type that sits down and you snack on granite and you're kind of mindless about it, you're just chewing and going, you will really struggle, because you will end up eating too many calories, but then you really realize what you're doing wrong, because it's in just a small amount you can have a very significant amount of calories in nuts. Okay, you don't have to eat a lot before you go over, but you can eat just a little, and it will be a lot. Okay, especially because by the time you start adding up to all the other things you're probably doing wrong, you will just really set yourself up to fail. Things you buy in traffic, so that small gala, it's like 230 calories. You have the plantain chips. Plantain is about 350 to 400 calories. Depending on what your weight loss goal is, or how many calories you're trying to consume, that can be like an entire meal. But to you, because it's small, you ate it in traffic one time, you can't even remember that you ate it. It was like a snack. So when you get back to your office, when you get back to wherever you were going, you still plan to have your normal actual food, not knowing that in the calorie aspect of things, you actually already ate your lunch back then, but you don't know. Okay, and now everything is just adding up. There's a certain level at which you begin to lose weight. Okay, so for you to see significant progress, you need to do at least a 500 calorie deficit. So if normally you're supposed to eat 2,500 to stay the same, you need to be eating at most 2,000 calories for you to begin to see any significant progress. So if you're not hitting that number, that means if you're constantly doing over 2,000, or you're still staying around that 2,500, my dear, the weight will never shift. It will just never. Or if you are doing more than the 2,500, that means that is when you actually now even begin to add weight, because if all you need is 2,500 and you're eating more than that, your body will use the one that it needs, and it will store the remaining as fat. Okay, and then your body will only burn that it has stored when you give it less than it needs. So that is where the calorie deficit comes in. That's when we say you have to eat less than your body needs. It's because you're giving it less than it needs. You are now forcing it to go and make up for it, so to speak, from the ones that you already stored. So the fat in your body, you can think of it like somebody saving for the rainy day. So let's say like all these people that feel like that prepare for the end of the world, and then let's just say you're stocking, maybe you're preparing for like war, preparing for something, and then you're just stocking all this food in your house. Then finally when the war comes, that's when you now gonna start touching. But before the war, normally you go and buy from the supermarket. If you need milk, if you need anything, you go to the supermarket and go and buy. So that's how it is. Normally you eat food, you eat your regular, you're giving your body what it needs, the 2,500 calories, you're giving it every day. But the day that you now say, okay, we're not doing 2,500 anymore, I don't have 2,500 to give you, I'm going to start giving you 2,000 calories. But your body needs that 2,500. So that remaining 500 calories you're not giving it, it's going to go to the store to go and take it. And the store is the fat that you have all around your body. And your body starts burning it, okay? And now, yeah, this is the time for me to also state that you can't choose where your body will burn this fat. All you have told your body is that you need to burn fat from somewhere, because I'm not giving you enough energy, and I'm doing it on purpose because I want you to burn the fat that I have. Now your body will go anywhere it likes. It can be from different parts of your body to varying degrees, and that is why during the people come and be like, I just want to lose belly fat, I like my size, I don't want to go down. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so when it comes to fat, you can't retain fat somewhere. You can't let the fat somewhere in one part stay and then the fat in another place to be going down. You don't have control over that. Okay, what you have control over is muscle gain. So personally, I'm trying to gain weight right now, but the weight I'm trying to gain mostly muscle. I'm going to gain some fat, but I want it to be mostly muscle, because I don't want fat. I don't want it to be jiggly fat. I want it to be firm, nice, toned muscles. Okay, I'm currently a size 6 and I'm working towards being a size 8. Now that is what I can do. So for example, if I'm saying, okay, if I say I want to burn my belly fat, but I like my butt, I like the way my arms are, I just like the way the rest of my body is, then I need to start ensuring that I am building the muscles in those places, because the truth is you will lose fat. But if you want to retain the size, then what you want to do is start to build muscle, so that at the end of it all, everything doesn't go down too much, so to speak. Okay. All right, guys. Questions. I missed your question. I'll try and go back up for it. Oh, okay. I think I've answered it already. Oh, 12:05. Jana Oriented, I think I've answered your question, except if there's another question now. Is roasted corn high in calories? I wouldn't say it's high. It's a carbohydrate, so it's similar to other carbohydrates like your rice and your yam and things like that. But corn is actually really good, whether it's boiled or roasted. It's a very good, actually, in fact, it's really one of the snack options that I put for my clients. You can do like a small corn. Small corn, maybe about 100 to 160. It's difficult to tell what small is. Ideally, the ideal thing would be to weigh it, but usually, like a small corn, I don't know what the small corn, how much they sell it. I don't know, 18 naira, 100 naira. I can't remember last I bought roasted corn, but it'll give you maybe between 100 to maybe 150 calories. It's actually a very, very awesome snack, and because it's high in fiber too, so it's very filling. What are the calories in banana? Okay, let me try and use size. Like a medium-sized banana, not very. Do I still have banana? Let me check. I hope they've not finished it, which is the likely thing that I finished it. But I want to see if I have the banana that I have. I want to show you the size. I don't think it means. Does it? Am I lucky? No. Yep. My people have finished it. As I guessed. Okay, so okay, so let me use Yoruba banana is kind of, they say Yoruba and Igbo banana. So let me use, so like Yoruba banana that is usually smaller, and then there's some that are just so tiny. But like, let me just say medium-sized banana is like 60 calories. But then there are the Igbo ones that are like really big. So those ones you'll be nearing 80-100 calories for those ones that are really chunky. Okay, they're chunky, they're long, they're big. You'll definitely be nearing 100 calories. But if you're doing a medium sized one, you'll be doing about 60 calories. Then if you're doing, there's some that they're small. Sometimes the shell even used to give it hope, but when you peel it, there's nothing there. So usually like 2 of that will be about 60 calories. So I have an idea of this because I weigh. So the last banana that I bought, I'll call it medium size, but when I peeled it, each one was like 55 grams, which actually is about 50 calories, because 100 grams of banana is actually 89 calories. So if you do the math, but I don't know many of us don't want to go and be weighing, so I'm trying to give you an estimate size of the calories. Yeah, that's the last question. Does anybody have any other questions for me? Let me just go back, make sure I didn't miss anything. My battery is low. Really, yeah, I don't think there are any. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that's it. I don't think I have any more questions. I don't think I've answered. Which is better between boiled unripe plantain and the ripe one? Okay, if you're talking weight loss, there's no difference. There's barely any calorie difference between ripe and unripe plantain. But if you are talking about maybe somebody who's like managing diabetes now even for people that are managing diabetes, the reason why I'll tell you to eat unripe plantain is not because unripe plantain has lesser amount of carbohydrates. The amount of carbohydrates in ripe and unripe plantain, they are the same thing. But I'm going to explain the difference to you. Now, the reason why ripe plantain is sweet, right, is because the carbohydrates in it, as it's getting ripe, it is breaking down into simpler sugars. So normally starch, which is a carbohydrate, is not very sweet. So you have things like your yam is not very, it's sweet, but it's not very sweet. Your rice, they are called complex carbohydrates. It's still in starch form. But for plantain, as it's getting ripe, it is, that starch is being broken down to simple sugar, like your table sugar, which is really sweet. But it is still the same. But when it comes to calories, if you are going to talk about the quantity of carbohydrates, it's still the same quantity of carbohydrates. It's just the form that is changing. So weight loss wise, there's no advantage, okay, in you choosing unripe over ripe. But for somebody who has high blood sugar, for example, the reason why the unripe might be a little better is because the unripe mostly contains the complex carbohydrate. That means in the starch form, in the complex form, when you eat it, it takes some time for it to get digested into simple, because your body doesn't absorb starch. Your body absorbs simple sugars. So that's why when you eat, the normal elementary science they taught us, or biology, it will break the food down into sugar, and there's that sugar that is now absorbed into your body. right? But because it is still in the complex form, it takes some time for it to break down, such that when your body now finally starts absorbing the end product, which is sugar, it it does it in a like a steady manner, like it does it small. Let me use that word, small. But with ripe plantain, because some of it is already simple, the digestion happens fast, and the blood sugar will jump because the simple sugar will enter the bloodstream very quickly. It's just the same reason why somebody who is diabetic will not go and just be drinking Coke or taking something that has lots of sugar, because the sugar is direct sugar. Like once you take it, in a matter of in a very short time, your body will absorb it, and absorb it very, very quickly, such that the blood sugar now will rise too quickly. Now, for us that don't have, for people like, for the healthy people that don't have like diabetes, or you don't have this condition, your body will bring it down. So even if it happens when your blood sugar rises like that, your body, the processes that bring it back down, they are working. But for people that have diabetes, that process is malfunctioning, it's not working properly. So while their sugar is supposed to come down, your body is supposed to correct it, their body is not able to correct it, and so the blood sugar stays high. Okay, so that's why for them it might be more advisable to do the unripe. But at the same time, even the ripe, if somebody was to do ripe, so for someone that was diabetic, I'll just tell them to do lots of vegetables. That's something, back it up with something that has lots of fiber, because that fiber will then stop that fast process of absorption. That fiber will slow down the process to also help, to help the absorption become small, like I said earlier. So the vegetables and high fiber become, can help to kind of counterbalance that problem. Okay, but if you're trying to lose weight, if you want to eat ripe plantain, eat your ripe plantain. Calorie wise, there's no advantage, so enjoy your ripe plantain by all means. Do you mean ideal, Alatishe? Do you mean what is the ideal sliced bread to eat, or is bread? This kind of reconstructs your question. There's no exact ideal bread to eat. I mean, of course, there's wheat bread. Now, calorie-wise, again, wheat bread is just slightly lesser than white bread. Okay, so even with wheat bread, you still have to exercise portion control. But the advantage that wheat bread has is that it's the fiber that it has, and I think that's going to be the main focus. So in general, things that have lots of fiber. So for example, there's wheat spaghetti, there's wheat swallow, there's oat swallow, there is, what's all these things that just have plenty of fiber in there? There's a fada rice. All these things, it's not that they have, the reason why they say, okay, it's healthier, it's not because it has less calories. All these things that I mentioned, you still have to exercise portion control. The reason why they are said they are healthier is because they have lots of fiber. And fiber makes you feel fuller. So if I was to eat 2 slices of wheat bread and versus 2 slices of white bread, the truth is I'm going to feel fuller on the 2 slices of wheat bread, because besides the carbohydrate, I'm going to be taking a lot of fiber, which will help keep me full. That's 1. 2, the fiber is also very healthy. The fiber is also very healthy for your digestive system, in helping ensure that you're moving your bowel frequently, you're keeping things, flowing as they should in your intestines. You're not getting bloated, you're not constipated, you're not, and all that. And that's very, very important if you're trying to reduce the size of your belly. But then, as I mentioned earlier, even if you decide to eat white bread, quite all right, just ensure that you're getting fibers from somewhere. So if I was to do like bread and egg, for example, trust me, I'm going to load that egg with a lot of vegetables. So you probably see on my page, I'll probably be pouring a lot of carrots or green pepper and tomatoes inside to build up the fiber. And minus the fiber part, obviously I'm also putting it for nutrients. I mean, these things they're healthy because they have lots of vitamins and minerals that you're giving me, and keeping me looking good. I said I'll always thank eating healthy for my skin, Okay, because I mean I'm not wearing makeup and I think I look good, right? Because I mean obviously I don't have many, I have just one product, which is a soap that I use. One of the things that I know that has really, really helped my skin is my diet. Okay. Um when you start eating healthy, trust me, there's just so many things that you're going to start noticing about your entire body. So you're just trying to, and it's not you don't have to start removing some things. Many people ask me, okay, if I want to lose weight, do I need to stop eating rice? I've removed rice from my diet, I removed bread, I removed this, I removed that one. It's not about removing. It's just about taking all the different components of a healthy diet and eating them in the right portions. It's the same balance diet they taught us in school. Okay, it's the same thing. So you have your carbohydrates, just ensure you're eating it in the right amount. You have your fats have always been something you need just little of, and when I mean little, I mean little. And that is why you're supposed to use little cooking oil. Your granules and stuff, you're supposed to eat just little. Your coconuts and all those things, you need just little. That's why I say don't fry stuff. Obviously when you fry, the thing you're frying is absorbing a lot of oil, and so end up consuming a lot of fat. And in the spectrum, I don't know who remembers, when we used to do food pyramid, fat used to be on top. It used to have the smallest triangle, or if they draw it as like a pie chart, fat will have the smallest percentage. The smallest, supposed to be very small. Okay, so you have your protein, you have your dairy product, your milk and all. You just have everything the right amount. So somebody says calories in Greek yogurt, good or bad for fat loss? See, when it comes to food, there's no food that is bad for weight loss, or this one is good or this one is bad. Many people ask me, which one should I be eating? There's no specific food that's going to help you lose weight, and there's no specific food that made you add weight as well. It's all about quantity. You can eat rice, you can eat eba, you can eat it. The question is, how much are you eating? How frequently are you eating it? That is the question when it comes to you losing fat. I've talked a lot about calories. Okay, so if you know that, okay, my target for me to lose weight or to lose those 2 kg per week is for me to be eating 1,500 calories per day. That 1,500 calories per day can contain almost anything. The cocoa is, at the end of the day, is it equal to 1.5, or did you go and overdo it? So that 1.5 can include bread and egg in the morning. It can include maybe eba and okra and fish in the afternoon. But it's not about, okay, what quantity of all these different things are you eating for you to get that 1,500 calories? It can include Greek yogurt as your snack. The question is quantity. It's not really about the specific food. Of course, in all you're doing, you're now also trying to make sure that it's healthy. I can decide that I want 1,500 calories. All I want to be doing is to be eating. I can do rice in the morning, rice and meat in the morning, rice and something in the afternoon, rice, and not do any vegetable. I will not do any fruit. So long as it's 1,500 calories, I will still lose weight though. See, even though it is not healthy, trust me, I will still lose weight because I met my calorie targets. But will I be healthy? There's so many other things that will be going wrong. So, for example, I might even start getting constipated because I'm not eating any vegetables, I'm not eating any fruit. So even if I'm burning fat, I might not still feel good, and then all the vitamins and nutrients from all the different fruits and vegetables and stuff that we eat, those are the things that get you feeling good. You see people say, oh, I feel more energetic, I feel so much lighter, I feel so much this, I feel so much that, my skin, my pimples are getting better. All these different things that people are enjoying, all these different benefits they're enjoying, you will not be enjoying it. All you just be doing is burning fat. And so while you might be looking good, you're not healthy. So which is why for when it comes to if it's all you're bothered about literally just to lose weight, you don't necessarily have to do it the healthy way. So if you're meeting your calorie target, you will still lose weight. But of course, this life is not just about you looking good or being a size 8 or a size 10. You also need to ensure that you're taking care of your body. I mean, there's no point of rocking, size 8 or size 10 or size 12, and then later down the line, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, you come down with diabetes, you come back with high cholesterol or high blood pressure. I mean, so what was the funny of what you were doing? Fine, you look good, your body looks good, but now you're not. Now you're managing. You're going to start managing a condition for the rest of your life because you were not making the right choices with the food that you were choosing to eat while you were losing the weight, or as your lifestyle in general, basically. Um, Maximum number of calories per day is there's no maximum. There is no maximum. As I said, it depends on so many things. There's no maximum. You can it depends if you eat so much, you just be adding weight. No, no. Everybody you just have a number of calories that you need to eat for you to stay the same personally, and that number varies for everybody. You have to do the calculation for yourself. It depends on your height, it depends on your age, it depends on your sex, depends on how much physical activity you're doing. So for me, if I eat my maintenance calories, that means for me to stay the way I am, my maintenance calories for you to lose weight, it varies for individuals. For me now, my maintenance calories is 1.6. So for me to lose weight, I need to eat less than 1.6. Okay? If I want to lose weight, I need to eat less than 1.6. So that means that maybe my target, I'll probably be targeting like 1,200. But for somebody who is much bigger than I am, so let's say somebody is much bigger than I am, and that person's target for them to stay the same might be all the way at, I don't know, let's say, let me use my 2,500 example. That person will still be able to lose weight at a 2,000 calorie diet. That person will also be able to lose weight at 1.5 calorie. But of course, if they do 1.5 calorie, they'll be losing more weight than if they were doing 2,000. So I hope you understand what I mean by it varies per person. How many calories you need to lose weight is dependent on a lot of things. But let me just say this. In general, most people will lose weight on between 1,200 to 1,500. But then for people who are really small, like for me, I definitely not trying to lose weight. But if for some whatever reason, maybe I'm trying to burn fat, for whatever reason, 1.5 will be too much for me because I'm really small already. So while somebody who is much bigger than me will be able to eat 1,500 calories and they'll be losing weight, if I'm eating 1,500 calories, nothing will shift. I will not lose weight. I've got a lot of people usually send message like, I was losing weight before, now I'm no longer losing weight. What do I don't know what's going on. I'm doing everything. I'm eating my vegetables, I'm eating this, I'm doing everything, but I just seem to have gotten to a point where the weight just does not want to go down anymore. Usually the reason is because you have now lost a good amount of weight. The number of calories you now need to continue losing weight is now lesser than that number you were eating before. So let's just imagine that before, let's say right now I'm 50 kg, right? So let me say maybe when I was 70, let's say I was 70 kg. Let me say I was 65, let me say I was 70 kg. And at that 70 kg, I was eating 1.5 calories and I was coming down. And then I came down to 60. Now at 60 kg, I still continued eating 1,500 calories. But I just realized that I'm not losing weight where I used to be before. It's because now that I'm now smaller, that 1.5 is now kind of like too much. So what I need to do now is I need to calm down more. So maybe I need to come down to I need to come down more to 1,200 for the weight loss to continue. Okay, so I know that usually I get that question a lot of times. Like I was losing weight before and now all of a sudden it's just not coming down anymore. What do 1,000 calories look like per day, please? That is a very detailed question that I think it's either you buy my book or you get the masterclass or you join my program. That is a very, 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 very detailed question. How many months will it take for me to get to a size 14 from a size 20? It's dependent on many things. Of course, first it's dependent on the how many calories you decide to start doing per day. At size 20, if you start on I think you can start with 1,500. You still lose a good amount of weight. And then when it comes to dress size, it's a little difficult. So usually I tell people lose a dress size between 4 to 6 weeks. you can lose one dress size. So between 20 and 14, that's you're going from 20 to 18, 18 to 16, 16 to 14. So that means you want to lose 3 dress sizes, right? So if we're going to do 6 weeks, 6 weeks times 3 is 18 weeks. 18 weeks is how many months? 18 weeks? Somebody help me. I don't know. 18 weeks is like 4 months. Like 4 months and 2 weeks, Abby. So let's just say you're looking at about 5 months, 6 months. Okay, but even with that, you have to put it, that's with another 5, 6 months means that you kept at it. That means you did not, you did not fall off the wagon one time. That is with that means you were consistent. You continued going at it, for straight up for that period of time. Okay, and then it varies for people. Sometimes some people drop, as I said earlier, also some people drop faster. So this is like an average. So you're looking at least 5 months of 4 to 5 months of consistent work towards it. Okay, but it's definitely doable. Usually this is a very, very big size difference, so just give yourself time. I always say don't pressure yourself. Try to enjoy every new size that you achieve. Really, I think you really should do that. So from size 20, when you become size 18, I think you should celebrate it. I think you should really enjoy and embrace your body at your new size, and then you can work yourself up again. You start your journey down to size 16. When you get to 16 again, celebrate it. Okay, it's a journey. All right, and try to enjoy it. Don't put too much, especially if you have a kind of a long way to go, so to speak. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because it's easy for you to do that, and then you kind of start feeling depressed. You kind of start feeling overwhelmed, and then those feelings end up making you just get tired of the whole process, and many people just end up backing out altogether, and then they end up not getting anywhere at all. Okay, so sometimes it's better to be a little slower and eventually get to your goal than trying to rush so much and you end up pulling out. And when you pull out, and many people pull out, and then they find it difficult to get back. How can one achieve a regular bowel movement with a healthy okay, wait, I think I skipped. Sorry, let me quickly answer this. I skipped. How do you stop cravings? There are different things, many things, but let me start with this first. Now, this sounds how do I put it now? See, when you start eating healthy, your cravings will reduce. And when I say eating healthy, that means you're eating less carbs, you're eating less junk, you're eating less salt, you're eating less fat. Literally, trust me, your cravings will reduce. Now, it sounds counter. I mean, the reason why you're asking is because you're trying to eat healthy. And in the process of trying to eat healthy, you're trying to stop yourself from eating junks. But truth is, if you can discipline yourself for a period of time, stick to that you're eating healthy, you'll just realize one day that some things they're not just appealing. There'll be days when you just feel like, oh yeah, I really feel like eating this thing. But you will have more control over yourself. And it comes from you actually cultivating that eating healthy habit. It's like it's kind of like saying what kind of example can I use? What kind of example can I use? Okay, let's just imagine that somehow you want to become your body. You want to try to make sure that your body fire cannot burn your body. That means you want to become resistant. You want to become resistant to fire, and then they tell you that for you to become resistant to fire, you need to allow that fire burn you first. And when it burns you, you actually become resistant to it. So if you actually start eating healthy, your body will actually stop craving junks. That's 1. 2, you need to fill yourself up. Many times, one of the reasons why you'll feel like start craving stuff is because you just get hungry and you're looking for something to eat all the time. Water is your friend. Number one rule: always drink water before every meal, because it fills you up. Okay, so by the time you finally now eat the meal, you end up being quite full. Whenever you feel like snacking or nonsense, try drinking water first. Sometimes you drink water and that feeling just goes away. Then, or you can alternatively try 0 calorie drinks. So your diet cokes and your cream soda and things like that. If you're craving something sweet, you can do that instead because it's 0 calories. So even if at least it is satisfying your sweet tooth at that point in time, but you're not adding unnecessary calories to your diet. Is it possible to? There was something somebody asked. Oh yeah, how to achieve regular bowel movement? In general, lots of water and lots of things that have fiber. So things that have fiber, vegetables, will obviously number one. You have your fruits. You have just include these things in your diet. Beans are also really, really high in fiber. They're very fantastic when it comes to the fiber department. Yeah, and of course, lots of water. That's it. Is it possible to jump from keto diet to calories diet and still lose weight? There's nothing like calories diet. Even keto diet, the reason the people on keto are losing weight is because they are also eating a lesser amount of calories than their body needs. The vegetables, the protein that they are eating, the fats that they are eating, when everything comes together, they are achieving a calorie deficit. Regardless of the diet that you follow, the reason why it is working is because you're achieving a calorie deficit. That is the thing that all weight loss methods have in common. Whether it's intermittent fasting, keto, paleo, normal just balanced diet, whatever method that you're using, the reason why anybody is succeeding at losing weight is because they are achieving a calorie deficit. So it's not really. But yeah, if you're talking, what I'm guessing what you mean is like a normal, a balanced diet that you have carbohydrates included. Definitely. So long as when you include the carbohydrates, you are still achieving calorie deficit, you lose weight. And one of the mistakes I know people on keto diet make when they're trying to get back to a more regular diet is that they continue doing some things they were doing on keto, which a regular diet cannot accommodate. So on keto, you eat lots of fat, right? But that's because you've eliminated carbohydrates, and because carbohydrates have been eliminated, because carbohydrates have been eliminated, you can accommodate more fat into the calorie count for the day. But when you now come back to a regular balanced diet that includes carbohydrates, you can't be eating as much fat as we're eating on keto. Okay, so I have many people that come and be like, Odumo, why are you telling us to, eat so little amount of fat when people on keto are eating plenty fat? What you have to ask yourself is, the people on keto are not eating rice. People on keto, they're not eating plantain, they're not eating any of these things that you want to be eating. So why then do you want to be eating the amount of fats that they're eating? The reason they can accommodate it is because they've removed something. Okay, but you still want to include carbohydrates in your diet. So that means you have to now minimize your own fat. Okay? Because I got size 20 from size 20. Okay, you go from size 20 to size 20 from keto diet. Fantastic. Well done. Oh my, that is huge. Well done. You just need to learn how to accommodate. Just make sure you don't make this mistake that I just said when you're coming back. You guys, people on keto eat lots of fat, lots of the avocados and granules and all those things, because you're not eating a lot of carbs. You're eating very little amount of carbs. But if you want to come back to still be eating the quantity of carbs that you that's on a balanced diet, then you need to cut down on even the protein as well. A lot of people also do a lot of protein on keto. You can't be doing large amounts of protein on regular balanced diet. Okay. Alright guys, please, if you're just coming, please ensure that you watch the replay. I think we've answered quite a number of questions, and I'm sure there'll be lots and lots to learn from it. I think we can call it a night. Please, hi, welcome. Please, if you're just joining, watch the replay. We kind of come to the end. I'm going to ensure that I definitely share the replay. There's lots and lots of questions that came in that I answered, so ensure that you watch the replay. And if you have further questions for me, you can enter my DM. If you'd like to get my weight loss book, the book is 2,000 naira. It's 2,000 naira. There's a soft copy, there's a hard copy. If you're interested in the masterclass on how to count calories, that is how much? That is 3,000. Hello, Olufimisaya. Please watch the replay. We're ending now. And if you want to work with me personally, send me a DM. So yeah, I think we can call it a night. I've spoken so much, my throat is so dry. I don't put water beside me. I always put water beside me. Anyways, I think we'll call it a night. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your questions. It's worth 3,000 with the book. The masterclass itself is 3,000. The book is 2,000. They're two separate things. Okay. Just as the masterclass cost calculator is 3,000. The book in itself is 2,000. So the book teaches you how to create your meal plan. It actually comes with 2 free sample meal plans in it, and also just a lot on eating healthy. So all these things I'm talking about, fats and how to select healthier foods, and it's just a lot. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for joining. Good night. You guys have a wonderful night rest. Bye.